boy just caught the new whip. Hi, my name is John B, and today I'm going to explain to you guys why I have such a ridiculously unnecessary obsession with old Toyotas. I think at this point it's safe to say that I could open up my very own miniature Toyota dealership. This is just getting out of hand, folks. Completely out of hand. No, but all jokes set aside, I've got something really exciting to share with you guys. That exciting thing being that big old hunk of Japanese metal right behind me. That right there is my dream whip. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down why I am so stoked and unbelievably jazzed to announce that I'm the proud owner of a 140,000 mile 2002 Toyota Land Cruiser. So join me today as I give you a full-length tour from the butt to the nose of this big old off-roading Mamobile and express my love and my hopes and dreams to turn this thing into the best fishing, touring, and off-road whip you guys have ever seen on, if not the planet, definitely YouTube. So without further ado, let's crack her open. Ooh, yeah, just nice old leathery smell. Yeah, this thing has some history. So a little background knowledge as to why I bought this thing. I'm not gonna give you guys any background knowledge. I'm just gonna have you watch this. Yeah, so that's why I bought this thing. I know a lot of people are confused. They're just like, you did what? You spent how much on an old Land Cruiser, on an old Toyota? What are you thinking? You could have gotten yourself a new Chevy Silverado, or you could have bought a F-125. You could have done all these great things with your money, John. You could have done all these great things for your country, but you chose to buy this. Oh, God, I know. Actually, I really do know. But hear me out. Let's get started with the interior. We are inside the belly of the beast right now, and let me add, it is a freaking beast. If you got Timmy, Jenny, Jerry, and Tommy, they can all fit back there because we got third row seats. I personally will be actually ripping out all of those seats. Yes, you heard it right. I'm gonna rip out the third row and the second row and just leave 2 seats in this vehicle. It's a process, just hear me out. My plan and goal is to turn this thing into something I can not only drive in, but I can also live in. You know, touring, you get the point. So these whips have been around for quite some time. I think the first one came off the assembly line right after World War II in 1951. They were nothing like the Land Cruisers we have today. They didn't have any leather in them. They didn't have any night vision. They didn't have any heads-up display or parking sensors or none of that. They were meant for utility and utility only. They were Japanese war vehicles, and they performed just as that. And the cool thing about the Land Cruiser is they haven't left that touch. You still feel like you are in this Japanese tank every time you get behind the wheel and turn the key of this thing. Oh, yeah. You're not gonna believe this, but this car comes with a little infotainment center. And check this out. Oh, nice, beautiful Toyota, in case you forgot and you thought you were in your Honda. So it's crazy enough that this car has a screen. I mean, for God's sakes, my 2016 4Runner barely even has a screen. But check this out. Holy smokes, it's touchscreen. This is actually pretty crazy. This is something that surprised me when I first purchased this car. I thought for sure there's no way that this thing is a touchscreen, and just out of curiosity I hit the screen and it moved. It did something. For a car built in the 2000s to have a touchscreen, that's pretty wild. Like, that car doesn't even have a screen. This thing had like the top line technology. I mean, I think new this thing was $80,000. That's a pretty penny. Personally, as cool as I think this is, I personally would like to remove this and replace it with a more up-to-date infotainment center. The only problem is you control this thing primarily with climate. Like, there's no way to control your climate or your temp through the buttons. It's all on the screen, so I don't know how that would work. When I bought this car, they gave me a bunch of pens. I don't know why they're still in there. Moving down here to your shift lever. It's, of course, automatic. If it was overseas, it'd probably be a manual. So yes, of course, this thing is 4-wheel drive. It's off-road capable. It's got some really cool bells and whistles, especially even for its age. This car has actually got a center differential lock. There's a little button right there. Boop. Then down here you have 2 other buttons. You've got a power button and a second button. So I'm not gonna lie, I had absolutely no idea what these buttons were for. The power button is somewhat comparable to like a sport button. It'll accelerate a little bit faster. Not something you probably use a ton of unless you're rolling through the backcountry. I don't know why you need that button, but it's there. The second button's a little more useful. That puts the car immediately into second gear, so you're climbing from second gear opposed to starting off in first. And that helps if like you're in sand or just kind of iffy terrain, like kind of loose terrain. But I thought it was kind of cool. And then you've got 2 off-road settings, and those are for obviously different situations. That's just the John B explanation. I know that's absolute horseshit. The worst way I could describe it, but yeah, that's my interpretation of it. Okay, let's go to the back, which is somewhat less interesting. My plan is to remove this seat and this seat. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try my best. This is by far one of my favorite parts about Land Cruisers. Take a look at this. Ready? It's like a pickup truck. And it's not a weenie one too. You can sit on this thing, you can load things up in it. It's actually really great for loading up gear. While this may seem like kind of a goofy little additive to the car, I could see this really coming into play when I'm traveling. And if I do eventually turn this back seat into a bed, this will also be really nice, so I can slide the bed in and out if I need to adjust. But isn't this cool? This is about the only vehicle, to my knowledge, that has this feature. I think maybe some of the old Chevy Trailblazers had something similar to this, but to my knowledge, this is pretty much one of the only SUVs that has this kind of pickup gate, this hatch. Granted, it's not as big as the Sequoia. Surprisingly, you'd think it'd be bigger, but still, just an immense amount of volume in this here whip. All right, let's do a walk around to the nose. Give her a quick look, see where is the release. God, these Toyotas are so confusing. I think it's right here. Oh, almost had it. I almost had it. There you are. Oh, this thing is a big old chunk of metal. Right off the bat, you guys notice something kind of weird about this hood? No, nothing? Okay, I'll let you know. It's freaking hydraulic. That's kind of weird. This is something you see in like sports cars, but I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's just one of those minor little details that it just tickles me. Oh God, I love it when vehicles surprise you like this. And it still works, look at that. A lot of the times these hydraulic hoods, they sag after 16 years. You would expect the thing not even to work. Oh wow, you need to work on that part job next time. So what's under the hood, John? Great question. Under here, you've got a chunky V8. This is a 4.7 liter. I think it puts out, who cares what it puts out? I don't know, I think it's like somewhere around like mid 200 horsepower. It tows, I think, 6,000 pounds, which is iffy, especially with a vehicle that is this old, but it definitely can tow a lot, and that's another reason why I wanted this thing, so I could tow bigger boats. This is my first ever 8-cylinder, so I'm pretty pumped. And just listen to this thing too. Oh, it sounds so good. Very tasty. I don't even know, like I suck with cars. I'd love to go more in depth as to what is under this hood. The only thing I know is that it's got a whopping V8 and she puts out some serious torque. Okay, here comes the bad news. I talked about what I love about this vehicle. Now it's time to reluctantly go over the ugly. One problem that I've noticed off the bat is that when this car runs for over 30 minutes, you get a nice pool of water right under here, but it's a big issue. I know it's probably a very easy fix, as these Toyotas are theoretically bulletproof. It's something that just kind of bothered me after I bought it, something that the dealership of course didn't mention. I'm guessing it's fairly minor, something to do with the AC. Or the other thing that needs to get fixed is these gosh darn tires. I guess I should rephrase that. The thing that needs to get replaced are these gosh darn tires. Major rottage going on. I'm running on like 1% tread. Just look at this. She's looking pretty smooth there, buddy. Yeah, you can see the sidewalls starting to kind of crack, and it just doesn't look good. A little bit of saggage right there too. That's just probably low air, but still, it doesn't look that great. It's kind of inconsistent though, because that tire looks like dust, but this one up here doesn't look too bad. Where's the one back here? The one back here, yeah, this one's, although the sidewall's like really gnarly. Like, look at that. Look at all that crackage. You can still drive this thing. It's not like it's gonna explode, but you definitely wouldn't want to take a giant haul in the whip. Then other than that, there's not a whole lot that I have found yet that is broken. To reiterate, I've only owned this thing for maybe 2 months. And along with the little leaky issue on the passenger side, and of course the tires that need to get changed, here are just a few tiny little cosmetic errors that I noticed after I picked up the thing. With a car that is 16 years old, you expect a ton of rust, you know, lots of scratches, lots of dents, but this thing is virtually clean. Just look at her. Not to mention, I love that color, that maroon, that nice glossy maroon. Ooh, just really speaks to me. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, John, okay, cool, you bought a used Land Cruiser, But what's the punchline? So what? Can't any YouTuber go out and buy an old clunky car like this? Yes, of course, but this is specifically special because one of which I've always wanted this car. I've wanted this thing for a very long time. Wherever I've traveled, whether it's been Mozambique, Africa, England, Iceland, Mexico, Indonesia, everywhere I've been overseas, I've seen these bad boys rolling around. That says something. It's like an off-road sleeper. That's the best way I can describe it. And my vision with your guys' help is to turn this beast into an even badder beast. I am not a car dude. I love cars. I've got a big passion for it, but I couldn't tell you what a single thing under that hood does. I want to hear your ideas, your thoughts, your opinions as to what I should do with this thing. And I'm thinking unique here. Like, don't even think about saying light bar. If I swear to God, if I hear one of you guys say, John, you should put a light bar on this thing, I'm gonna flip. And along with that, this thing needs a name. So as you guys did with the rigged runner, drop in the comment section below what you think I should name the maroon Land Cruiser. I'm all ears. Let me hear it. That's gonna do it for today's video. Take care, peace, and as always, folks, keep fishing. Never